You were so mean to me last week. I was too scared to tell you your mic wasn't working. So I texted Shai and he was like, just leave it.
Lily is the shortest of the three of us, but this is excessive.
But why don't you just raise your
Because then it's just
hand?
hot tops.
Why don't you
talked
raise-
about this? I have a very short torso. Unlike
You're
you
closer.
and Allie. Allie has like the longest torso ever.
No, she has a tiny torso.
You're gonna have to blur this out on the video. Fine, it's just my nostrils, and I'll be the same height as you guys.
Oh, good.
This is the highest my chair goes.
Like FaceTiming with one of my children. Dad. Just
Oh, no.
This is
Or mom. You just see the ceiling or up her nose.
This is 100%
Mom
the highest my
playing
chair goes.
Fast and loose with the hearing aids this
Yeah, okay,
weekend,
that's
and it was
okay.
a lot
There
of
we
fun.
Here we are, and welcome to a post-Mother's Day edition of the Friday Night Movie Podcast. Our sound is working properly this week. Our video is working properly this week. Lily's chair not working properly.
It's the highest.
She's climbing up on her desk to try to get in this
It's
video.
the highest it goes. Spanish people are short, so they don't make chairs like in the U.S. that are very tall.
They don't
I
make-
don't know what to say. Can you guys go lower?
I don't know,
Why are
but
you so high up?
Your
Go
voice,
lower.
your voice doesn't sound very loud to me.
Because I'm so much higher than my mic now.
There-
I've had to adjust everything.
So we're coming off of Mother's
She's
Day,
getting taller.
and we.
Well, because I
Is she like
Well,
Jack?
because
She's
I
like
have
pulling the jack on her chair.
my desk is like it's like an electric rising desk, so I can just like
So
lift
go
my-
lower so we're the same height.
But then I'll have too much headroom.
Okay,
That light is distracting.
before we get into Mother's Day, big news breaking just as we
Cute.
recording before we get into Mother's Day, big news breaking just as we record this episode. The Floaters, our movie that directed by Rachel Israel, will be having its world premiere at the Bentonville Film Festival on June 18th, 2025. It is an amazing film festival chaired by two-time Oscar winner Gina Davis, who's in some of our favorite movies of all time.
And if you're wondering, did she win the Oscar for A League of Their Own? She didn't, but everybody thinks she did.
But
I mean,
in our hearts.
in our hearts.
Yeah.
That's, yeah.
So-
Thelma Louise and Accidental Tourist.
So our
She's
film
an icon.
Our film is premiering in the competition block among some fantastic other movies.
Only 11 other movies.
It's very exciting.
Pressure's on.
The pressure's on, very exciting. The opening film of the festival is East of Wall, which was at Sundance. So we are in great company, and there's just so many amazing people involved in making this movie. We've done the list in the previous episode, so we're not going to do it now, but we're really excited, and we're really excited to put it on the big screen and bring it to the world. So stay tuned for more info. Now, we're done talking about the movie. We're going to talk about Mother's Day.
Mother's
Talk
Day.
about Mother's Day.
How shy.
Because Becky and I had the white-haired wonder, as she's
White-haired
now
wonder.
known,
The
came
silver tornado.
the silver tornado.
Silver Tornado. I love these nicknames, like the Colossus of Clout, the Great
She spent
Bambino.
the weekend with
Silver
us.
Tornado.
You never knew what time of the day she'd be in your house.
Just pops in, she pops out. You never know. Wild cards with mom. Will she bring her CPAP, and will she remember to put on her hearing aid?
Now, I want to
If
say,
she's wearing her hearing aids,
Mom-
how much sand is she claiming she got in them and can't hear anyway?
Mom is never tired. And on one of the days we were hanging out with Mom, she was yawning. Every time she sat down, she took a nap. Every time she sat down, you could see her. She'd find a blanket, whichever couch she was on, and take a nap. And then Mom's like, Mom, why are you so tired? And Mom's like, I don't know. And then she says, and then unrelated, she's like, I left the plug to my CPAP in Florida. I'm like, Mom, you're not using your CPAP.
Yeah.
If
Not
I don't
getting enough oxygen.
If I don't sleep with mine for one night, I basically can't function.
Yeah.
So I lent her my battery, and suddenly she had her energy back. The previous night, though, when we went to go see Secret Mall Apartment, which we should definitely talk about in this episode.
It's so cool that you guys got to go see it.
Yeah, we got to see it.
That was
My
amazing.
friend directed. Mom, not only had she had like a triple espresso earlier that day, but in the middle of the movie, I hear her whisper to the Alamo waiter,
she technically had 5
I need
espressos.
a sweetened iced tea, please. And he brings her a jug of iced tea.
It's like a 20-ounce cup of iced tea that she pounded.
I texted Shai and I was like, oh, who did you got like celebrate with like the screening? Like, what'd you guys do after? Was it you and Becky and, Allie, or like who was there? And he was like, me, Becky, and Mom.
Yep.
Out on the town.
Mom's always ready. She's always
Mom was
ready
to party.
And then the next couple days, she was staying with me, and she brought, to be clear, she brought her hearing aids with her, but she would forget to put them on in the morning. And once she's left the basement to come upstairs, that's it. They're never going in. She's like, I've gone too far. I can't go back.
Can't go back.
She literally is like,
look, I don't like doing stairs either.
She's like, I'm just not going to wear my hearing aids this weekend. And I'm not getting the exact, like, Mom, I know you're going to freak out and get very upset because I'm not going to tell the story exactly verbatim how it happened, but I'm giving you the general gist of things that would happen. We'd be hanging around my kitchen and one of my kids would say, oh, Bubba, can I have some watermelon? And she'd look very confused and go, there's a whispering dinosaur? Like things that just have like nothing to do. I took her out for a special Mother's Day rooftop cocktails in DC. And I don't remember exactly, but at one point the server comes over and says, oh, ladies, can I get you anything else? And Mom goes, oh, I've already used the restroom, thank you.
He was like, welcome. She was like, welcome.
Like, just like not like she misheard. Like she has completely made up.
But I'm not sure it's like a hearing thing, because I don't want to make it sound like we're making fun of the
hearing impaired.
Yeah.
No, because it's not about the hearing. It's what she assumes someone might have said to her. And that's where it's funny. It's like, if she doesn't hear you, what does she make up in the conversation?
And to be fair, if she put in the hearing aids, she could hear.
No, she claims she can't hear with them anyway because she got sand and then when she was...
And to be fair, I've been told by more than one person that my voice is hard to hear. They don't have a butter zone.
They don't have a...
Really?
In the modern hearing
You've
aids.
been told that your voice is hard.
I have a friend who has to have a special setting just for my voice.
Hard to hear, or you're hard to understand?
The tone
don't want to
of my voice.
No, I think it's like the decibels or something.
I only have a couple of volumes.
Are
I
you
just, like,
soft
I talk from the
spoken?
back of my throat,
You're certain,
or I'm the loudest person in the room.
but not.
I don't have a medium volume.
To me, you mumble in a low voice, or you mumble in a very loud voice.
Oh, I mumble? Is that a thing? Do people think I mumble?
When you're tired, you definitely mumble.
Well, I mean, all sorts of stuff. That's been also one of the funniest things that's happened.
Sorts of stuff comes out of your mouth when you're tired.
Got back from Israel, and my older daughter and I were back, and I'm used to jet lag, so I actually powered through this jet lag pretty hard this time. I don't think she's been this jet lagged in her life, and she would fall asleep also in random places and just mumble things or forget that she fell asleep.
You after that, like, New Zealand jet lag, you're like, bitch, there is no jet lag. Like,
the New Zealand jet lag, I'm still recovering from.
Your body,
7 hours? I don't even
your
notice
body is
it.
upside down when you go to that part of the
I'm
There's no other
still
way to
recovering.
describe it.
This year, daylight savings will be like 1 hour.
No,
1 hour. Fuck you, losers.
Oh, well, let's start with Lily. Did you have anything for Mother's Day, or do they not do Mother's Day do they have a different one in Spain?
I had COVID during the during the Spanish Mother's Day. So my husband was like, oh, okay, like, next week we'll just do American Mother's Day. And then on American Mother's Day, he was like, well, last week was Mother's Day. And I was like, two can play at this game. I guess you don't have a birthday this year. I was like, touche. This was the push my family needed. I don't want to do Father's Day. I don't want to do Mother's Day. Like, I don't want to have to do anything. So I'm like, you know what? We started the new tradition of like, and we were out to dinner with friends and they were like, what do you mean you didn't like do, our friends are telling us all the nice things they did for their mom or whatever, wife or whatever.
The Spanish Mother's Day or the American?
The Spanish Mother's Day. And Jose was just like, oh my God, there's just so many things to celebrate. And they were like, excuse me? He's like, Valentine's Day, made-up days, Mother's Day.
Well, you guys have a lot of holidays.
We do have a lot of holidays. It's like holiday exhaustion.
Holiday and like all
we do have a flower and book holiday. San Juan.
Like a lot of extra ones.
Nobody works.
We have the bonfire holiday, Saint Jean Baptiste.
You know,
that's
how I know we did Mother's Day right in my household? Because it was about 6 o'clock
p.m.
Hit p.m. Vlad said that around that point in the day, the girls looked at him and said, Daddy, we're really confused. If today is Mother's Day, why have we spent the whole day with you? And I'm like,
you're like,
that's
so Becky does it like I do.
That's how you won.
So I'll say in my house, we don't make a big deal about our anniversary. We don't make big deal about
we don't.
Valentine's Day, all of those things.
Yeah.
Allie
Same.
has never, ever, we've agreed, there's never been expectations.
She's not sure how many years you guys have been married. I have asked her. She doesn't know.
She never remembers.
She also doesn't know the difference between Advil and acetaminophen. Of Tylenol.
Yeah.
Like ibuprofen, acetaminophen.
She's got this funny little quirks. Don't take medicine from her.
No.
Don't.
I once asked her for a Tylenol and she gave me Benadryl.
Yes. No.
And I was like, that's not what this is.
So the thing is, though, and it was told to me very clearly before we had children, the only thing that matters in our house is Mother's Day. That is the day for which you will be struck down.
You guys go big for Hanukkah.
In terms of remembering, if I were to forget my wife's birthday, which I don't, I make a big deal about it, but if I were to forget my wife's birthday and go to a Fish concert on that day.
Or your anniversary.
Or my anniversary. Or on my kids' birthdays, which I've done. Allie's like, whatever. Screw up Mother's Day and you're sleeping outside. What
was the rest of your Mother's Day like?
Well, the good news is that this year Becky planned it.
I did. Well, because Mom came to town and I really wanted to do something special for Mom. And so I planned a very beautiful brunch and everyone came over in the morning and
God, I have to interrupt you. Becky sent me the pictures of that spread.
Yeah.
I know.
Holy jeez.
But it's Mother's Day. Why are you cooking? I was like, because I want to eat food that I know I'm going to like.
Well, Becky's
on Mother's Day.
Becky also.
Did you make those quiches? Did you home make those quiches?
They're ridiculous. I came over to Becky's house the next day. Like on a work day, just to eat the quiches for breakfast.
7:45, he's like, "Where are those quiches?"
Becky
did text me. She did text me the spread, which I was so jealous of. And then she just like in parentheses was like, "There's a lot of tooting going on post this."
It was a very dairy.
It's a very dairy heavy.
It was a dairy heavy.
Well, I'll say this: there was delicious Hawkeye cheese. What was that? Red Rocket, Red Riding Hood.
Cowgirl Creamery Red. I think it's Red Hawk.
I don't know what that is, but that was one of the best cheeses I've ever had.
Triple cream.
There was a blue cheese, and
None of this sounds lactose free.
It actually has an ash lining. It's not a blue cheese technically, but yes, that would be
volcanic cheese.
I'm not lactose intolerant anymore, but you ingest that much cheese, something's going to happen. And Becky
something's getting loose.
Either Becky or was it Allie and I were sitting out on my porch later in the day.
You and Allie.
And I burped. And I was like, oh my God. It was like all the cheese was just in that, like a mist came out of my mouth, burned my nostrils from Becky's breath.
You couldn't shit your pants, so I guess this is...
You came back the next day for more,
it was
mini cheese.
And then in the evening we went to my mother-in-law's and my father-in-law made delicious steak.
Mom and I went shopping.
Culinary Mother's Day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about our Friday night movie. Becky, me, Mom, Allie went to go see Secret Mall Apartment, a movie that we've been trying to see since South by Southwest last year, but every screening was sold out. So we'd go to the theater and not get in and go see something else. Well, we had the great fortune of seeing the screening with Jeremy Workman, who is the director, who is somebody we admire and I would say is a pal, a colleague now, but also like a freaking genius
and a lovely human being.
And as a surprise at the end of the movie, the subject of the movie, the sort of main artist that is the narrative flows about, which is this guy Michael Townsend, was also there.
Cool.
What an exciting!
Oh my God!
What an amazing! You know how I've said I'm like, oh, I don't like panels. I think I've been going to the wrong panels
You've been going to
because
the
this one was incredible.
Is this a one night thing that you guys went to and they're traveling?
Showing throughout the week. It was
the night that they were doing the Q&A. It was the night we went.
And it was showing in theaters all around the DMV for the last week. I mean, coming from me, this means something. I mean, Jeremy Workman is so brilliant. He doesn't need my thoughts. But let's say for our listeners, no notes. I got no notes on this movie. It is as in no feedback. It is fantastic from beginning to end. It's really funny and thoughtful completely. I mean,
it has a tremendous amount of heart.
So much heart and in such an unexpected way and so much depth, but without being dark or sad or it's just it's really beautiful. It's a really fun and
can people see it
film
somewhere?
It's perfect.
So I'm going to mention that in a second. The setup of this movie is wild. It's a documentary. Although it's a documentary told like you're watching a narrative in the sense that there are little crumbs that they drop of little threads where you're like, hey, they just mentioned that. I want to know what's going to happen to that particular thread. And they deliver show me a thing in the first act and reveal it in the third. It was great. It was great. So this group of artists whose community was essentially ruined by gentrification associated with the building of this massive mall in Providence, Rhode Island, incredibly huge mall, scoped out while it was building what they thought was essentially negative space, a spot that nobody really knew about inside the walls of the mall. And after doing a challenge where they lived in the mall for a week or so or something like that, they decide to build an apartment over the course of 4 years. And when I say build an apartment, there are scenes of them walking through. They videoed it before the days of high-end cell phones. They had a tiny little camera, and they brought furniture and cinder blocks, and it's a really gripping story, but it's wrapped around the fact that these are these wonderful people dedicated to using their art for good in the world.
Yeah.
So it's like someone asked me, they're like,
they're not just a bunch of anarchists. These are a bunch of very thoughtful artists who have tremendous purpose in what they create. And it's very reassuring to see this story about artists that create something really that brings a lot of beauty and love into the world. And it's great.
And just to say again, you don't usually come to a documentary to laugh. And the laughs delivered in this movie were with scientific precision.
I was fully
we were cackling. The whole theater was cackling.
There was.
So what people should know, people should follow Secret Mall Apartment on Instagram. They should also follow, what's the tape art?
Tape art,
because that's Michael Townsend's art that he creates, which is wild that he creates with masking tape. But here are some of the places you can see it. Here's some of the places you can see it in the coming month. Bozeman, Montana, Winnipeg, New Paltz, New York, Memphis, Tennessee, Amherst, Massachusetts, Bernardsville, New Jersey, Sarasota, Florida, Dennis, Massachusetts, Cleveland, Ohio, Santa Cruz, California, Indianapolis. It's basically going on an indie rock tour of the United States and Canada. And in fact, I can't keep reading this because it goes on and on and on and on. It is also an independent release. These are the gutsiest, coolest punk rock filmmakers ever.
Wow.
SecretMallApartment.com. Go see this movie. It is really fun. And I don't want to spoil anything, but people got to see it. It's definitely the coolest documentary I have seen in a very long time. So 5 stars, as Becky says. No notes. A total blast. It just blows your mind. Every time they do something else, they're like, what? They're carrying a couch?
Truly. Make the time.
I can't wait to see it.
Up a building?
Hopefully somebody
you will not
put it on.
Maybe it'll be in the Canary Islands. We got to get it.
I gotta tell you, after seeing it the rest of the weekend, Mom and I could not find anything we were willing to sit through to watch. We turned off 3 or 4 different things, and that's Mom of all people. She was like, "This is so bad, I can't watch it." Because I think it's because we kicked off our weekend with Secret Mall Apartment, and then we had that's it. We were holding that as our standard for the rest of the weekend, and we just honestly weren't interested.
Are you at all worried that your husband is going to build a secret mall apartment now.
He's not allowed to watch the movie, to be clear.
Did he go? Oh, he didn't go to the movie. Okay.
He's already like
He was in a camper van.
My
when
husband
the
was
movie.
away last week. He went to go pick up a new like a surf van, a camper surf van that he's been obsessed
It's a
with.
specific type of van
Like
person.
15 years he's been wanting this. He finally found the one. He got it. And this morning, we were kind of like bickering a bit about something. And he just looks at me and he goes, "Well, I guess I'm just going to go have to live in my van," as if he was threatening me, but he was also really excited at the thought. So I'm like, wait a minute.
That's like me being like, I guess I'll go out to Dave and Buster's
I
tonight.
guess I'll just have to go live in my van. And I was like, wait, are you threatening me? Because you actually sound really excited about that idea. And so if that's the solution, I mean, I guess we both win. He's like, yeah. So no, we shouldn't show him this movie.
Yeah, because this is his dream
Yeah.
type thing. All right, now you two are. Do you want to talk? I mean, I don't want to. You don't want to speak ill of other things.
No,
but
I don't want to like talk about all the things we turned off because that sounds.
Yeah. Okay. You don't have.
I also
Text
turned
Becky.
off his show.
Text Becky and I'll tell you what not
Yeah.
to watch.
Yeah.
And
Same. I was sad that I was
but
like,
you two
that I
are
would like
watching a show with someone we interviewed on this podcast with that
Mhm.
stars Shabana Aziz, who is blowing up. I don't watch the show because I'm not that into doctor dramas anymore, but I get the sense from Instagram her character is like a major fan favorite.
I mean,
I
I
would
wouldn't go that far, but I think that I wouldn't go that far. I'm sorry.
Well, you haven't finished this. You haven't finished the
Where
show.
I'm at on
'Cause
episode
Becky was
10.
Starstruck when
I
she
mean, if
met.
I
haven't
saw
finished
her,
the
I would be
show.
super starstruck. But I think
You haven't
her
finished the
character
show. She's
is
gonna
very.
have
I would say the last episode
What
is
episode did you
making
watch?
me when she describes Shai. I would only have you watch this one scene where she's. So she plays a prodigy. So she went to college at 13 and she's like an 18-year-old dog. She's like a bit of a Doogie Howser situation,
Yeah.
but not that young. But she's clearly younger than everybody. And also being a prodigy, she hasn't had like social situations because she was like bumped up to college so early, right? And her mom works at the
she does
hospital.
awkward really funny.
She's
In
so
The
well.
Most Racist Person I Know, she was so funny as the awkward.
So funny.
She's great at that. And so you think the whole show she's going to be kind of like a stick in the mud. And as it's so well done, this show, because it takes place over the course of one day. Each episode is an hour, but you really get to like be with the characters because like as they evolve throughout this one day. And I didn't I was like, I guess is she like, I think there are other fan favorites, but I think she's a special character because she's amazing. And she seems to like have a crush on a nurse.
God, it's so great.
So like all day there's like been a few interactions between them and she's like looking at this nurse and I think she's like trying to, put herself out there or so she's, it's her first day at work. And she very awkwardly tries to ask him to go for a coffee. And he's kind of like shuts her down. She then immediately goes to another nurse to describe how like she is so flustered and can't get her sentences out and stuff. And she was like, one time when I was a kid, we went on a ski vacation to Utah and I was like, now you have my attention. The Cormans love Utah. And she was like, and the elevation was so high, I kept like feeling dizzy and stumbling and I couldn't ski the whole time. And she's like, and the nurse is like, what? And she's just like, Mateo is Utah. He's Utah. It was just so sweet.
Now,
And
that being
is,
said,
like a reveal of her character.
Between
It's
Becky
great.
and me, I breathe fine in Utah. I'm like, I have a spring in my step. Becky, when I talk
Becky's
about
like-
going back to Utah, Becky's like,
walking uphill.
Becky starts wheezing.
And doing multiple trips next year, I'm like, can we just make it one long trip so I don't have to keep
I mean,
acclimating?
I would go to Utah for a month. Let's do that.
I want to keep acclimating every time.
Park City is delightful.
But yeah, so she's fantastic, and I'm jealous that you guys got to interview her because that would be starstruck as well. But this is I think there's a few things. Hey, no one knocked Grey's. Like we are longtime forever fans of Grey's.
I haven't been able to watch it.
I mean, I haven't watched
I-
it in a few years because like 20
can't.
years was like enough. But the the Grey's it's a soap opera, right? And all the drama and all the extreme whatever, right? The insane things they think
very
up.
rooted in
This is very
reality.
realistic.
Oh, it's grounded.
It's very grounded.
Extremely.
It's kind of
So
like
there's
the bear.
there's no
Isn't the
like
bear
sure
people
performing
are
brain surgery on themselves type
right,
situation.
exactly.
no.
But
No.
their like long lost twin is being a surrogate for their brother.
And if you
it's
read about the way that
not
it was shot, so it's shot in what's supposed to be like an observational documentary style, so very handheld, and they actually had to have the entire crew dress in scrubs every single day
it's like
because
adolescent.
it's like people will be in the shot.
Because you could be in the shot.
Background, you
That's
could be in
cool.
the shot because it's shot in this like you know, the way-
360. It feels like
yeah,
it's like
so it's shot in like a documentary style like that. And then the storylines that they choose, I think like many hospital shows, but like the way they choose and the ones they chose and the ones they chose and how they chose to represent them are really like looking at what are the most pressing issues facing, you know, that
doctors and
that
nurses.
doctors are facing,
Yeah.
nurses are facing, and emergency care is facing. And so
And the mom from The Wire, Barkley's mom. Oh, she's so good. Hold on, I
I don't
gotta.
remember.
She plays like the administrator or the
One of my
like
dirty
business.
secrets is I haven't seen The Wire yet.
Oof, The
Never
Wire's.
seen The
Allie and I
Wire.
have started
Jesus.
it a number of times, and we
It's
like never make it to the
It's
first
very
episode.
heavy. Hold on, it's very. I mean, I get that.
I love all
It's
the
very
actors from
heavy.
it. I don't know.
Well,
I mean,
I
I'm sure
feel
it's
like-
great.
I
I feel like at
I'm
this
not going to
point
dispute its greatness.
I think at this point you're not going to watch it. Like that's okay.
Okay, wait. I
I'm never
think
gonna
she's in The
watch The
Wire.
Sopranos. Sorry, guys.
J.K.
I mean, The Sopranos
Good.
is uneven.
Shit.
though. There are great seasons of The
But The
Sopranos, and
Wire
then there's a
also-
lot of other stuff that.
But The Wire also is. I mean, these shows, you know, like, it's overall I think really great, but a little
Hold on.
uneven.
Oh, sorry. Michael Hyatt is her name. She's phenomenal. Like, but she's comes down as the administrator, like, you know, the business side of the hospital every once in a while, and she's excellent. Obviously, I think Noah Wiley like steals the show. He's just so
Which is awesome.
good.
Good for him.
Good for him, but I'm also like, why haven't you been okay, this is gonna sound
He was in the Librarians TV show. Mom
I
watched
know.
that.
he said that. I saw him say that in an interview, and I was like, what's that? But
It's like an Indiana Jones, but with books kind of thing.
sure, but I'm like, why wasn't he Clooney? Like, he's excellent. He's good looking, you know? Like, it's amazing that from ER, Clooney becomes George Clooney. And I feel like Wiley's so good. I'll just say
I
this.
like how
I'm here for the
understated he is.
Wiley.
I'm here for the Wiley
Assance. Like,
But
yeah.
he's so, I think what so makes him so watchable is how understated he is. Like whether he's
He
doing
feels very
interviews,
realistic.
whether he's doing interviews or whether he's
I feel like
on the
no-
show, I'm like, I want to know more, give me more. And he
I feel like Noah Wiley in ER, though, was like borderline a child actor.
He's 22.
Like he was so
22.
young then.
so young. Yeah.
He was
And
22 when he
I don't
finished
know
when
how
he
old
was
Clooney is,
38.
but I feel like he's been
Maybe-
55 since we were teenagers.
But I think that's all. I think Clooney left the show also a long time before Noah Wiley did. He left when he was 38, 22.
I mean,
That's
the
like
other
20
thing
years.
is that people don't like now Clooney is Clooney, right? But Clooney's first big movie after leaving ER, I'm pretty sure was Peacemaker with Nicole Kidman, which was a DreamWorks movie, which is a
Wasn't
cool,
it Out
fun
of
Friday
Sight?
night movie.
Wasn't it Out of Sight?
I think Out of Sight
Was-
comes after that, but
Mhm.
the world kind of looks at him as this like movie star, but he had been around for a while on TV and stuff before he became Clooney. But what I would say is like Noah Wiley's borderline like a child actor. I view it in a way as I'm watching. Okay, I'm going to compare him to Daniel Radcliffe because I think Daniel Radcliffe is like one of the most amazing actors, and everything he's in, he's incredible in.
Mhm.
And I'm watching this show, Miracle Workers, which is a very sweet, I would say, existential comedy. Each season is a different story. The actors all play different characters, but it's like a sort of, each one has kind of a moral, existential lesson, a little bit like The Good Place, but lighter. And I think of the fact that, yeah, that's Harry Potter, but like as an adult actor, this guy is hilarious and multidimensional, and having a little bit of separation between him and Harry Potter helps me really enjoy him. And in a way, I feel like Noah Wiley probably, it's like he was Dr. whatever, Michael Crichton, what was his name?
John Carter.
John Carter. And now he's,
But you know what
'Cause
I
he's-
think I don't now I'm like I don't associate him with ER. I'm like he's this character. He's
great.
like
Dr. Robbie. Did you get to
Yeah,
the
he-
Shema episode yet?
No, I'm not there. That's the last episode. It's the second to last. I'm not there yet.
Oh, you're making me want to watch this show now.
And
I
he
don't even-
plays a real Pittsburgh Jewish doctor, Dr. Rabinovich, who died at the Tree of Life shooting.
Well, I don't think that's like officially.
I don't think it's officially, but he's based on.
People have made that comparison to that doctor. I don't know if like the show has said this is who it is.
I don't know if the show has said it, but people have like
made that comparison.
Dr. Rabinovich was like a very well-known ER doctor in Pittsburgh who passed away sadly in like a tragedy, and his character is fantastic. And at one point in the show, they say something, and he's like, "I don't know, I'm Jewish." Like he couldn't answer the question, and so like it's not like they're hiding from it, which I think is really interesting. And then there's characters who are clearly Catholic or have different religion. Like it's kind of woven into this thing that they're doing that like it's so realistic. It almost feels like you're watching a documentary.
Look, it's
very intense.
My rabbi,
a lot of trigger warnings.
My rabbi is a Air Force chaplain and spends a lot of time visiting hospitals. And I think whether you like religion or not, in a hospital, I think is a place where religion and faith and God are appear. And I think it's interesting to weave that into a story. Anyways, my level of what I can take for a doctor show right now is St. Dennis Medical, which is hilarious.
No, it's not the show for you. I texted Becky the other night, and I was like, I'm sobbing. I can't believe you made me watch the show. And she was like, oh, I fast forwarded that part.
I know, it was so funny.
I wish
like
you would have told me because I was like cursing Becky for making me watch the show.
It's like this one very sad storyline about a kid, and Mom and I were talking about the show, and it was just very obvious to us that like, oh no, that storyline we both fast forwarded. Like I deleted that. It was like my brain because I just fast forwarded that whole.
I'm happy that the show's getting tons of recognition, and I feel like there's going to be some serious awards. Yeah, I would hope. And it's great that it's on HBO because like they can swear, and when they're like doing the like medical stuff, you get to like see bodies and just like people in their situations as opposed to like it all being with like very sanitized. So, I like that kind of medical stuff. So it was really.
So I want to end on one bit here since we're talking about medical things. I've seen a lot of memes about the new Pope, the American Pope.
Oh, yeah.
The one I haven't seen yet is Chicago Pope.
Someone sent that to me.
Has no one done Chicago Pope?
Someone
but
sent it to me.
has anyone like photoshopped him in with Mandy Patinkin yet?
I don't know if it's Mandy. No, I saw a different Chicago.
Right.
All right, Shai.
Call to action to our listeners, ending on this note of.
All right. Well, I hope
Shai knows what he needs to do.
I hope if I do it, because I'm Googling and I don't see the image. I hope if I do it, nobody's offended. It is all in love that I'd be doing it.
Anyways, okay. Yeah, Chicago Pope.
Chicago Pope. All right. With that, it's a good
really
recommendation.
Funny. That's a really funny note to end on.
Have a great week. Bye.
All right. Bye.
Thank you for listening to Friday Night Movie, the sibling rivalry and pop culture podcast. Join the Friday Night Movie family by following @FryNightMovie on all of the socials and visiting our website, FryNightMovie.com. Our theme song is by What Does It Eat? And make sure to leave us a review on Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your podcasts. Thanks for listening.